Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the morning debrief. The current time is 7:30 and it's Thursday the 16th of September. Okay, relatively good night last night. Things were a little bit positive on the top side, particularly for the equity market, so that was quite good. The Dow was closed basically up a little bit, which was good on the back of some good data. Let's just grab that for us. And there we go. Okay, there we go. As you can see, the Dow was up 46 points. 10,572. The S&P was up 3.97 at 11.25. The Nasdaq was up 11.5 at 2,301. Over on Europe, not so positive. The top 50 was down 12. The FTSE was down 11. CAC was off 18, and the DAX was down 13. The local market closed down up 10 points, 4,693. That was quite encouraging. A couple of good things which came out of last night. The most important thing, I feel, was the data. Some of the data we had there was quite good. Although production cooled a little bit, it was still relatively positive, and I think we took away from the market thinking that the recovery is slow, but certainly on the way, so quite encouraged by that. Another major feature we had last night was intervention. Intervention yesterday started when the dollar yen was down at 82.90, and we're at 85.74, so that seems to work quite well. Let's see if they can hold on to those gains, and certainly been quite aggressive in terms of defending the currency. That's the Bank of Japan. Okay, let's just have a look at what's happening. And as always, let's have a look at just a few charts and things. And there we go. Dollar index, as usual, 81.70. This is holding up quite nicely after the fall and the rumours of the QE2, and as a result, which saw gold up. We've also seen, obviously, a little bit of recovery here, a little bit of strength for the dollar. Looking at some of your primary inputs, though, crude was still under a little bit of pressure there, 75.84. Copper also under pressure, 346.35. As you can see, there's crude coming back a little bit, but maybe it's found a little bit of support. I do like having a look at the copper chart at the moment because I do like what is actually happening there. It's quite positive in terms of the construction we're seeing here. And I think eventually, if this sort of just goes sideways for a while, probably expect it to actually start to track higher. 355 is where we need to see that break. Now, having a look at gold. Gold still going sideways, so very hard to tell either way. A little bit of divergence there on the hourly there, just by way of, a little bit of divergence there, quite interesting. But you can't do much with that if you're not long. The other day, I said, look, it'd be wise to take profit. We are out of the market and just sit on the sideline, but for all intents and purposes, as long as we stay above this 1265, we've got to assume that it's relatively positive. Okay, that's that. Let's have a look at some of the other ones just quickly. I guess the most important one, corn, which is something we've been onto for some time, and you're best to look at a daily chart on that because when you're looking at it, it does look quite strong and continues to look strong, even though we've got indicators up here suggesting otherwise. And it's been a great trend for a long time. Okay, so that's the corn, soybeans and wheat all going quite nicely, and same with rough rice. That's all traded quite nicely as well. The local market, as mentioned, we're right on those highs, and we've really got to see it move onwards and upwards from here. So let's see what happens on that front. But I want to get a little bit of aggressive if, in fact, it does take out those highs. They're just coming up here so we can have a look. There we go there. Just move that in a little bit. And as you can see, it's still looking quite good on the top side. Just need to see that really start to, there we go, that's probably a bit better. Yeah, you can see there that we really want to see it start to move on from these levels, because the more it stays at these levels, I think the more nervous the people will get. But at the end of the day, as long as she's up there, and then you can see the weekly charts, that we've got to take up these levels here, and then we're onwards and upwards to that 5,000. I think that's what we're all hoping for. That in fact it would get through there. Let's just have a quick look at the dollar yen, because that was quite interesting. That's the weekly chart for the dollar yen. It's just popped up, so it could be the correct timing for it to have a correction. We are long dollars against the yen, so everybody knows, but we got long back here, and that's actually come back into profit, so I'm quite happy about that. I would not short it, and I would suggest that that's the dip to look to buy if you are looking to get long dollars against the yen. Momentum indicators support it, the government supports it, and the government, the Bank of Japan, is probably never ever wrong in terms of what they do. They just pick the right timing. So if you're not long, it's probably not a bad way to get long. The stop has to go in below the low naturally, and that was below that 82.70. But yeah, we're a little bit long on that, so a little bit happy, and probably look to add to positions pretty soon. So that's on that. I think that's probably about it. Let's have a quick look at the economic calendar. And today, today we've got nothing in consumer inflation expectation in Australia. I guess the most important thing, we've got retail sales in the UK, Eurozone trade balance, but in the States, it's the PPI that we've looked at. And given the recent set of data we've had, probably expect that to come a little bit lower, or the market's certainly expecting a lower number for the year-on-year figure, and just an uptick in the month-on-month figure. I'd probably suggest that month-on-month figure will just come back just a little bit, but if anything, show signs that things are moving quite nicely. And we are actually, through persuasions, through potential QE2s, all this is a building confidence that will hopefully see that Dow continue to trade higher. Okay, well that's pretty much it for the morning debrief from myself. Dollar yen, I think it's worthwhile having a look at. We are long dollar yen at the moment on that Bank of Japan intervention. We're basically back in the money. We were out of the money, and but now we're back in the money, which is good. Probably look to average again, not average, but average up. Pyramid a little bit better on the dollar yen. Looking for that right entry, but keep an eye on the tweets and those for a clue that in fact it's the right time to actually do it. And see how that unfolds. But it looks like it's a good trend developing. Okay, well that's about it from me. I hope you have a great day, and we'll try and catch up with you tomorrow.